Oh, why, hello there. I am Dead Pulse. I am the man after midnight, and this is Final Fantasy Randomizer VOD reviews week 4. So I thought I'd keep with the theme for this one. I got a little behind on some of my VOD reviews. Been trying to put aside the time to do some adequate research so I can give some real advice. But this week we are going to be doing Rob Draven's Platy Party race that was just this last Sunday. So this was the same as the Duckling Weekly for this week, which is going to be the entrance floor shuffle. So the first thing of note that I'm going to mention here is that the black belt had legendary swords, and that's something that you definitely look for in this type of flag set. So the idea is if the black belt has an early grind and the ability to grind early, more likely than not, it's going to be the better choice. Now, keep in mind that as you're going through the flag set, you should make note of where the tail is, because if the tail is early, then your advantage pretty much just goes kaput. If the tail is very late or it's hard to dig out, then, that gives you all the more time to grind. But anywho, without further ado, let's just get into this. We're going to be watching it at 2x speed, and we'll see if we can give Rob Draven some pointers on how they may improve in the future. We'll just start her up there. Look at that. Almost timed perfectly. It's like I'm getting better at this. All right, so we do get new... I am error. I love it. All right, so that's one of the reasons why I don't check the item shop right away. When I go here, I know it's different because it's entrance floor shuffle, but I don't check the item shop because I usually don't have the money to buy whatever's there. We get some wood armor, that's acceptable. What I like to do in entrance floor shuffle is actually go into here first and get the stuff. If it is something like easy access like that, just so that I have the gold. It would save a little bit of time, just kind of knowing what it is. And then, of course, we buy the TNT and immediately come back here and are rewarded with the ship. All right, so the first thing I absolutely would have done is taken that ship over and gone and see what the other town is. But oh my goodness, so we find the Excalibur +4 here. This is excellent for we got to put it on. This is excellent for our legendary weapons black belt. This is exactly what you want to see. Now you need to find like an earth cave or something that has a very good grind in it. Had I seen that at this juncture and not had a black belt, I would be very upset. Now, a lot of the things you're going to hear me talk about today are personal preferences in routing, because really it's going to be down to luck with these kind of flag sets. Like let's be honest here. Whoever picks the correct flags, picks the correct entrance first, finds the canoe, finds their last item, they're probably going to win. But I like to try to improve those odds by hitting up areas that might have more places first. Like, for example, in a full entrance floor town shuffle where the towns don't have to actually be towns, I like to immediately go down to Elfland and grab those two. If I have the ship, that is. What I also like to do in this case is save, in the sea, so that if this turns into be, I don't know, one of the dead ends, I can immediately reset out. Like something like this. We'll see what we get out of here. But, all right. Yeah, we did get some XP. But keep in mind that this is going to take us, about 30 seconds to fish out. It was kind of a wash because I assume one or two battles we could have kind of gotten that. I don't like taking these fights. They don't give that much experience. And they are taking about 10 seconds apiece. I would like to see resets out of them. Oh, what's this? Ordeals, you say? No, ordeals not incentivized in this, if I remember correctly. Sadness, or maybe it was. Maybe that's the Derby 4 that I'm thinking of that doesn't have that incentivized. I can look that up right now. Oh no, ordeals was incentivized in this. Neat. Oh yeah, I absolutely would have done ordeals. So another thing that I will note, it's very good. I can tell that Rob is taking very good notes here. What I like to do is just try to remember the one that I have, and then if I'm in a battle or if I'm in a straightaway, then I try to either write that down or mark it on whatever whatever I'm using, whether or not use the app, the little one of the things that were linked. I'm sure if you ask about it in the Final Fantasy Discord, someone can post a link to that. I don't remember. I use good old-fashioned pen and paper. At this juncture, between the March split and there, I like to save right in between those, so that I can reset out if this turns again into be bupkis. All right, we get our ruby. But yeah, we're going to have to come back here because there's a couple more incentives that we're going to need. All right. Yeah, I think that probably not taking those 2 overworld encounters would have saved about 10 seconds. Nope, we gotta turn in that ruby. At least see where it goes to. It can go to an exit. Hopefully that's going to have something else in it. I think at this point it almost has to. Ordeals is the other option for something. Ogres with just a little heat. But yeah, I won't harp too much on the overworld encounters, but pretty much everyone that you take is not... You're only getting about 249 experience on that last one. And that took about 10 seconds. So that's, 25 experience a second. That's terrible. All right. So yeah, especially in the sea. So you have 2 encounters back to back. That is perfect for what you're looking for, because you're only going to see 2 sea encounters over the 256 that you're running into. So if they're back to back, that means that you can reset right before the first one. Take the encounter by resetting, or soft resetting. Quick, get the next one, soft reset, and you're good for another 240 paces with the ship. Oh, I do like taking a couple of fights in here to get my levels. I think that if you can go to... another reason why I like to go to ordeals early is for... Ew, gross. Bane gargoyles. That's what I love. But I do like getting my levels out of here. However, this place can be dangerous, and you'll lose your levels. So you have to be, you kind of have to be a little careful. Now, Grey Worms are kind of a meh fight. 662 experience, meh. The whole benefit of having a thief in any flag set is that you can run from battles that are just not lucrative. All right, I will mention that part of the strategy of the black belt is to not be opening so many chests because you don't need them. All you need to do is find a grind and get your black belt up to. In this flag set, you can probably get away with 32 if you have fast. So I would definitely pull back on those chests a little bit. Even when I'm in this flag set and I'm running a fighter, I don't open that many chests. Yeah, I'll open all the ones in ordeals if I go there early. But we'll see as we're going on. Besides the incentives and anything that's immediately present, shouldn't be opening any chests. Again, your goal is to get in and out of these entrances as quick as possible until you find a place that has adequate grind tiles to get that black belt up and running. Now, with this encounter table, it does look like you have the ability to do an overworld grind, so maybe that's the plan. Gasty is actually very good experience if you can kill it. Ice 3 is a very good tool against that. Then again, it really doesn't like nuke either. Not a lot of things do. Another thing why, so just to pull back in kind of a more general sense, with a lot of these Duckling weeklies, you're going to see veterans coming in at abnormally ridiculous times. And I guess what I would say is, up 20, 30 minutes in front of some people. And the reason for that is the incentives. Why would I go searching for a ribbon if I know that I'm going to get one? And in all honesty, why do I even need a ribbon? With a black belt party, that ribbon is not necessary, especially in a short Topher, because your characters are, it doesn't matter. Your black belt is going to be enough at that level. All right, so Gersharks. Oh, and we have Agamas back there. So I like the Gersharks Wizsahags. They do give a lot of experience. If those Gersharks roll down, this is a very delicious fight that can actually be more lucrative than the Agama fight. So the plan should be to hang out here for several minutes. Now, unfortunately, I do have to go back to the black belt had legendary swords, so you could have put that Excalibur on, and that black belt would be doing outrageous damage right now. The black belt's still doing reasonable damage right now, so I guess it's not the end of the world. But we do have to kill off these characters and then see what happens. Oh yeah, there definitely needs to be a run. Uh-oh. Nope. Oh, I forgot if save on game over was on. Let's take a look. Nope. Absolutely not on. Sometimes that can be a little bit of a trick if you're doing that. But, not the end of the world. We wasted a couple of minutes. The grind really didn't pay off. Yeah, nothing you can really do about that. Sticking to the Agamas because they're technically safer. There's less creatures. They're hitting a little bit weaker. So yeah, I could definitely see taking these Agamas. Had the Agama tile not been here, because universally the Agama tile is going to be the quote unquote second best single person grind that you're going to be able to find. Typically speaking, just because of health and, their overall power. You can make an argument that, red Ds or zombie Ds might be a little bit better, and yeah, whatever. Like if you had to choose right now, pick your 2 favorite grinds for your black belt, it's going to be the eye and it's going to be the Agama. I would have looked at the last spike tile here to see if it was the eye. I would have taken the extra 5 seconds to just see if it was. All right, this is excellent. We're level 17. Healing up a little bit. Perfect. And yep, move to the front slot. Perfect. So now another thing with grinds. Oh yeah, Fried Teeth. Where was the eye tile, by the way? I did not investigate that. Please tell me it was in Ordeals. Oh, it was on this floor? Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's if I'm planning on doing a static grind like this, that's absolutely, like, I check all of the tiles until I find the eye. And if you want to go mathematically speaking, it is because the 5 seconds that I wasted going to look at the other spike tile, I would have saved roughly, 6 minutes on grind time, or depending on what the flag set merits. And I think that's worth it in the 1 out of 30 some chance that it's going to be the eye. If it saves 2 minutes on a flag set, then it's worth it. But I mean, this is fine. Everything that we wanted is here. We got out of the inner sea. We found a grind tile relatively quickly in the flag set. We are punching our way to victory. Probably just going to go to 32 and call it a win. So this is the time that if you were in a live broadcast, you'd start talking about Agama facts. I am not good at that. I don't actually have Agama facts. But if I did, God willing, I would have said I'd be talking about it for 10 minutes. But anywho, again, with the black belt, I am not the black belt expert. I do not claim to be that is not my strength. My strength is running a very boring, very vanilla party and using it to its full ability. But I will say that with black belts, the whole point is just to overpower your opponents, and you need to do that by not opening chests. So even at the beginning, when they were lucrative, when you didn't have the levels, when you were still looking for gear, it's very easy to say, you know what, I can check these chests because it might have something that I could use, like a ribbon or something like that. And you're absolutely correct, but that's not going to win you a race. Every chest that you open when you're trying to devote time to a black belt is time that is wasted, specifically because you have to spend 5 minutes to grind. That's 5 minutes that a fighter party doesn't have to spend. So you need to make that 5 minutes up somewhere. Normally how you do that is in a long topher, because your tophers are going to be about 2 minutes shorter than them, which means that now it's only, a 3 minutes difference. So you make that time up with chests. I hope I explained that relatively adequate. These counters, terrible. 5 hits, 1102. That poor snake. But I do like things were running away from us. That's the other benefit when you're going through Earth Cave to try to get things to run away. Another thing I would have considered is that there is an incentive item on this. Where the heck was it? Earth Cave. It was random pre-rod. So it actually might have been beneficial to come in and look for that first before doing the grind. It might have saved about a minute. So I guess the double speak is simply this. If you're going to grind on the black belt, you need to find the first grind that you can and take it. You need to check all of the other areas that are around that or close to that to make sure that you don't have a better grind, such as an eye. And if there's a key item relatively close to you that you can get that will increase your XP, you should get that before you start the grind, just to prepare for it. So this is, we're not talking, more than a minute. We're talking, seconds. But again, if you've watched me do these VOD reviews, the seconds are what adds up. I spent most of my duckling time getting beaten by people who were using black belts. I'm very familiar with getting beaten by a black belt. And then I'm like, well, fine. If they're going to open less chests, then so am I. Back then, though, it was, if you're running a black belt, you just did black belt red mage. You just called it a win. Don't have to care about killing off characters. If the red mage had decent magic, you were going to win. If it didn't, you just you just lost. I do like going to the vanilla ordeals there. Ick. Yep, more saving is more better. Well, with black belts, it's all about the accessibility of getting the grind. So, for example, the first thing that you should check if you have a black belt is, do I have the option for an overworld grind? Is there an encounter within, say, the first 10 steps of hard resetting? And if that's the case, then say, great, I'm gonna act like I'm gonna find either a T-Rex or some steak and wings or some sandwiches over in one of the desert areas, and not worry about looking for grind tiles if they're out of my way. And yeah, 300% scaling for the I go if the HP is 300% scaling and the rest isn't, then yeah, you're good. If what was it? One of the what was that, the co-op tournament, I think 2 years ago, you basically were taking a black belt and you get your black belt up to 42, and you still had like a 50-50 shot of wiping in Temple of Fiends. Like, it was that dangerous. All right, so that chest, of course, is linked to the chests on the top. Also, I like to go down on the first room so I can pass in front of the door, saving a step there. I also like to go in between those two chests I'm going up. That saves another step. But at this point with the black belt, I wouldn't be opening those chests. Well, no, there's a random incentive in here, isn't there? Never you mind. I would be opening those chests, and I'd hate every minute of it. Wrong eye. So there's a way to go through that first locked room without taking any encounters. You do a little what was that? You go up 2 steps, right 2, down 3, right 2. And I believe that if I explain that correctly, you'll be fine. All right, so of course, you know, that chest. When that chest has the incentive, I just cry a little bit. Now, one thing that I didn't notice and I would like to remark on an entrance, or really any map, but specifically on an entrance floor shuffle or an entrance town shuffle, warp and exit are going to be your friends. Now, we did already see Lefane. I would have, if I did not see warp or exit yet, I would have taken the time to go over to Magic to figure out what level it was and to figure out if I needed to promote for it. It gets less and less necessary as time goes on. For example, we've already done Waterfall. We've already done Marsh Cave. We've already done Ordeals. So that pretty much leaves us with what? Oh, we've already done the first half of Earth Cave. So basically 80% of all the places that we needed warp and exit to make it faster are done. So it becomes less important, but we still have Ice Cave to do. And that just takes a lot of time, especially with this encounter, right? And yes, we're missing a couple of steps here. You want to hug the left side while you're going up that last floor. That way you can walk in front of the door. I will bet you dollars to donuts that if Fry Teeth took a black belt here, would be, there we go, opening up the chime. Yep, so going on this side with the random incentive that was not locked is probably the best route to go. If you want to be spicy, like I said in one of my videos, I do like to check the incentive chest, the chest on the left side of the chest on the right side of the first level. There we go, Dead Paws. Words are hard. Just because if I go through the entire Sharknado floor, which is the floor with the 4 rooms in it, and I don't find it, that's probably where it's going to be. It would have saved me a heck of a lot of time running down just to spend the 7 seconds to walk over and check that chest. Now, what am I missing? There we go. All right, and we're through and we're out. So that was nice that we did finish our grind. We didn't have to double dip there. And we turn the bottle because of course it's the adamant. But yeah, I do like coming back. I would like to see a lot of houses bought. There we go. You can, the worst feeling to have in one of these races, especially in an entrance town shuffle, is not having a house available. And unfortunately, we're gonna have to follow this fetch quest back because we need to figure out where that floater is. I'll tell you what, and we need to ASAP. But in all honesty, I mean, our grind is done. We're just looking for, you know, a couple of items to get. What I like about entrance town shuffle is that you don't specifically need the Oxgale, you don't specifically need the Chime. It reduces the number of key items that you need, which also makes a black belt more palatable. So at this point, we don't have the tail, if I am correct. And we don't care. We have fast, we got a black belt that can punch things, we're feeling fine. But this means that anyone else wouldn't have the tail before this. So if they didn't take a black belt, their fighter is useless. Yeah, if there's two things that people hate, it's a long chain for the loot or loose loot. All right, we have another piece of the puzzle. Typically speaking, in flag sets with short Topher, I don't like taking black belts. A lot of the time that you save in Topher from taking a black belt is the fact that you don't need to heal as much because you're killing things faster. So, which is why, given a party of level 24 of a boring nature, you know, thief, fighter, white mage, black mage, you know, it's going to take 6.5 minutes for someone like me to get through Topher on this scaling. With a black belt that's level, you know, 42, it's going to take under 5 minutes. Okie dokie. And we get our incentive ribbon. That's very good, only checking that chest. Not being tempted. Oh, warp was at level 1? Okay, well, then yes, I would have looked for it. Like, and that's a big thing that's going to separate runners. If there's ever a case where you're like, oh man, I'm 15 minutes behind this person, I don't understand how. Chances are it had something to do with exit and warp. But I mean, Nuke was level 1. Gotta love Nuke. Yeah, unfortunately, I remember calming this one, but I did not, because I calmed it, I didn't play it. so I don't have the recollection of it. So as a black belt in this, I love seeing the Master -3. It makes me feel like black belt was the correct choice. Yeah, Odrin, that's kind of why I take a white mage. I wish there was a better reason. Like, but I just don't want to miss out on exit. Even in my derby, the black belt week that we had was very similar to the black belt flag set. That was what was that, week 2 for the boot camp. That was the only time in a race that I willingly took a nun, and I went black belt, red mage, white mage, because I knew that I wasn't getting any spells after level 4. So a red mage and a black mage were essentially the same thing. I wanted to have exit just in case it was there. Aylmarkin School of Airship graduate. I'm sorry, my language not being good today. I had an instance at work that I said, nope, I have to let this go. It is not worth the time and anger at 4 p.m. on a Friday to deal with. Deep breaths, in and out. And I'm fine. It's not going to absorb my entire weekend. I'm not going to wake up at 2 in the morning, you know, yelling at myself about it. Yeah, the red mage does have benefits with that, but the red mage is, don't forget, it's a gamble. If you take red mages and yeah, you get nuke at level 1 and fade at level 2 and life is learnable, like absolutely, you're going to have a good time. But if you just get garbage, then it might as well be a potato. Okay, so we picked up the pace very much. I can definitely tell the urgency. And another more general note. So one thing that I preach that I haven't really touched on this duckling season is intensity. That is, I tell people to practice, their first 3 minutes religiously. Get that down to a T. You want to start off the game right. You want to start off with the lead. If you practice those first, 3-4 minutes over and over again on the same flag sets, get your, muscle memory intact, you're going to have a good time. I also say, you know what, you should take your Topher dives. You should absolutely go through Topher, then reload, go through Topher again and do it 3 times total and see if you can get through it all at about the same time. That gives you an idea of whether or not you got lucky or if that's the standard amount of time it should take you to get through Topher. However, I don't discuss what goes on in between the 3 minutes at the beginning and the 3 minutes at the end, or the 5 minutes at the end. And one thing you'll notice with racers is that they don't stop the intensity. They're going to keep it up, keep reminding themselves, nope, you got to go fast. Your buttons need to be crisp. And to keep going. And a lot of times it's hard otherwise to explain like that. You just tell when you're watching a race and all of a sudden someone's in go mode and it feels like they're going faster, it's because they are. They see the goal at the end. They know that they can get there and they stop wasting time thinking about things and etc. The goal is to not have that, is to always be going fast. Odrin, yeah, he is swinging the Xcal plus 4. Now, I didn't do the math in my head on it beforehand, but the Xcal plus 4 on a black belt that's level 33 is actually really close to what a black belt would be just swinging with their fists. Because with the Xcal, you're already above hit cap. So you're already starting at the 255. As far as the damage goes, you're getting 30 extra damage per hit, which is going to be 5 hits at that point. Almost 6. Oh no, we're at level 36. So that means that 5 hits happens normally at level 29 for fighters, and it happens at 31 for black belts. Since it's plus 5, take that to 26. 37 is what we're looking at for ours. Yeah. Nope, that's right. Math. Not to love it. Yeah, I do. He always gets me. So I'm pretty sure that we're just looking for the loot at this point. Yeah, that's another thing that you could do. I actually got burned by this on what would it have been? Was this SGL last year? Yeah, I think so. Where where somebody I was taking on Not Young Me, and the Master Mutant was incentivized, and he took a black belt, found the Master Mutant, and just used the Master Mutant on the black belt at like level 19 going through Topher. It was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I could definitely see. I'll bet. I mean, with a short Topher, you also have to take that into account. Like, had it been a long Topher, I would have thought twice about being level 25 with an Excalibur on my black belt. I mean, I still would have done it if I was in go mode, but I would have thought about it. Oh yeah, that was the Thursday night spectacular. Second chest we opened, loot, nice. And I will comment, I do like the black belt being first going through here. The morale break, in my opinion, through Earth Cave is better than the Thief's running ability. Okay, so now we're going to short Topher. I like the swing fade nuke. I don't like the invis here. I would have actually put the thief in the first slot to absorb a hit from that black belt. But with the black belt, you're speed and power. So in theory, the only reason that you should use any sort of invis or evade on a black belt party here is if your black belt is solo. Then I absolutely would ruse up. But other than that, this battle is going to be over in a fasted black belt, even with the Excalibur on instead of punching. This is going to be over in about 5 turns without any tempers. So now it's going to be 7 or 8. All right. And that's the end of the video, but spoiler alert, Chaos just got defeated. All right, well, that's GG's. So just to recap over a couple of the things here, that warp was definitely a killer. Having warp at level 1 and then not using it is death sentence. So definitely lean into that warp. I thought your routing was reasonable. I felt like you could have manipulated the overworld encounters to get rid of some of those sea encounters. And not only that, but there was a case where you walked maybe 45 steps and had 3 encounters. That wasted about 45 seconds of your time right there. Another thing would be to commit to the areas that you're going to. Specifically when you went into ordeals, you know that it's incentivized, you were there, but then you had to walk back, do something, and then come back here. So that you did that about 3 times on 3 different places. So that ate up about another 4 to 5 minutes. Besides that, I think it was a little loot goblin at the beginning. Again, that's more of a personal preference at that point because you had no idea that you were going to find a grind right away. Especially with EXP and chests on, it is important to open those early chests for any group, but especially with black belt ones. If you can get that black belt up to level 16 by just opening up chests, your chances of getting the grind off the ground right away are much better than if you were just level 5 and just, all right, I'm going to punch this eye. 2 hits for 1 damage. Nice. I'm sorry, 2 hits for 2 damage. So yeah, I mean, overall, this was a good run. I think we did run into some hiccups, but there's definitely not like a large scale several things to dramatically improve on. Just leaning into the warp, fixing some of the overworld encounters, and committing to locations. I think just those three things, you could have cut this time down by about 14 minutes. And that puts you in a very competitive spot. So I am excited to see what Rob Draven is going to do next week. Going to be cheering for him during the next Platy Party race. And then, yeah, that's a quick 45-minute VOD review by yours truly, Deadpulse. I want to thank you for joining me on this Friday night, Friday the 21st. Coming up, I do have 2 VOD reviews that I'm going to be doing over this weekend, and I'll ping in the Discord for that. Other than that, the next race that's scheduled is this Sunday at 9 Eastern. Yeah, 9 Eastern. This is going to be the second race of the Platy Party, the second of 3. Fry Teeth currently leading, and yes, I'm also rooting for Fry Teeth. Really hope that he takes this, but it's anyone's game still. We're going to see how game 2 shakes out. But again, thank you for watching, and subscribe to a Final Fantasy Randomizer. There's a lot of things that happen on this channel that I like, and you should also like them. All right. Well, thanks for putting out to me. I'm Deadpulse. I am the man after midnight. This has been a VOD review for week 4 of the Derby. I got 2 more of these broadcasts. They're going to be great. Come back next week and the week after. And yeah, we'll see you later.